Have you ever moved to a new city looking to meet new people, or went to a networking event wanting to increase your business and increase the people that work with you? So today we have a special guest. Her name is Natalia Levi. She's a confidence mentor and one of the most talented people I know that knows how to connect with people, network, and leave people a little bit better than how they were before. So, Natalia, I'm very excited for you to be with us on the show today. How are you doing?
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Yes, I'm so excited for you to be here with us and sharing some insights from your personal world. So maybe share with us a little bit about you, about who you are, where are you from, what are you doing, and then we're going to dive into a practical conversation for people to take their life into the next step and become the best version of themselves.
Amazing. So I'll tell you a bit about myself. I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California. I moved to Miami about a year and a half ago, and I didn't know anyone here. I was very much alone. And my main goal was to meet new people, to make friends, and of course, build new connections in a new place. So I started going out to many different places. I started saying yes, just saying yes to everywhere I went. So that's something about me that I started developing. And then also I'm currently studying in university. I'm a psychology major, specializing in child growth and development and child-parent relations. And what I do for my career, I'm a life coach and confidence mentor for kids, teens, and young adults. And my main focus is to help support them with self-love, self-care, and self-growth. So
That's
that's me.
amazing. You do so much to help others grow. Um, so I want to go into a practical talk with you because we don't have a long time for the podcast. We try to keep it
Yes.
about 20 minutes so people can listen to it on their way home and get when they go out of the car, they can already start and change their lives. So let's go down to business.
Okay.
Um, so I know you do networking events. I've been to your networking events. You do amazing job,
Thank you.
and knowing you personally, um, I would love to ask you, what do you think is the key to a good networking?
Um, okay. I think there's a few different keys to being a good networker and also being in the right environment to network. I think you really need to know yourself and know where you feel most welcome and where you feel you connect to people the most. There's been events that I went to, and I love meeting people from every aspect. But there's some groups and some environments that I just did not connect to, and that's totally fine. But the ones I did connect to, those were the ones that I felt welcomed and I felt an open space for me to be myself and come and communicate with new people. Um, so definitely environment, finding the right environment for you. So that means going and trying out new places, not being afraid. Um, and then also there's a lot about your own body language, about the way you communicate. That's a huge key in making new connections and meeting new people. So we can,
So I have two more questions for you so we can
yeah.
dive deeper into that. So the first one is, how do we find the right environment for us? And
Mhm.
the second is, what would be the body language for us to that would be best for networking events? So let's start from the first question and go to the next one.
So, the first thing, the best way to find the right environment for you is to try different places and not, excuse me, and not fear rejection. Okay. Most of the time we stop ourselves from going to a certain place because we're afraid that everyone's going to look at us. We're alone. No one knows who we are. And we have all these eyes on us. And it's scary. It really is. Um, the only thing I can recommend to people that are just starting off going to these places is brainwash yourself into thinking that no one cares. No one cares. When people see you walk into a room, they see, oh, new person. Maybe they have their own little judgments. That's fine. But that's it. It's a good 30 seconds, and then it's on to the next person that walked into the room. If you want to meet new people, you cannot be afraid of rejection. Do not be afraid. Okay? The only way people are going to reject you is if you're genuinely a terrible person. You know, people know that about you, that you're just terrible, so maybe they're just gonna reject you. But that's definitely what I would say. Don't be afraid of rejection.
And you know how it's a big thing, rejection. Many people, fear from rejection, from approaching a girl or a guy in their relationship lives, also in networking events. So what do you think people can do to help them overcome the fear of rejection, of remembering who they are, of coming with confidence and not fear?
I think that there's such a important factor of body language when it comes to approaching someone new. I've been approached by people that come in a very, like, I don't want to say cocky, but they just come as though they already know that I'm in love with them. And that's not the mindset that you're supposed to come when you are approaching a new person. You're supposed to come with a more, hi, like, nice to meet you. I'm actually new here. I'm trying to meet new people. What's your name? You have to come with a sense of you're the one that's new and you're the one that's wanting to meet new people. You want to know more about these people in order for them to want to know more about you. So when you walk into a new environment and you want to introduce yourself, you want to come in a very humble way. You don't want to be super, I'm the shit, excuse my language, okay? Because it's not going to get you anywhere. It's going to make people think that you're just not who you actually are, and that's just not how you want to be shown as. Um,
You know,
I'm sorry, what was the question
I
again?
found
Yeah.
no, no, I found out sometimes that people,
Yeah.
um, we have two sides of, I would say, lower confidence. One of them is to disappear and stay out of interactions,
Yeah.
and the other one is to try to show ourselves so much out there
Yeah.
that we over express ourselves. We try to show that we have confidence, which it's two situations that we kind of push away conversations with people and not pulling them towards us. So a nice thing that you said basically is kind of keeping the balance in between them.
Mhm.
Make sure that we attract people in a way that they will be also interested to be around us and not pushing them away, which is an incredible thing to think about. It's very important for us to remember. So that's a good idea of you sharing. And I want to make sure people remember that.
Mhm.
So, you do networking events and you meet a lot of people. What do you think is maybe let's go, you know what, let's talk a little bit about relationship.
Okay.
What do you think? Many people are having trouble into getting into a relationship, or meeting, for guys or girls both, meeting a girl, meeting a guy, approaching from the beginning. I would say let's talk about the approaching
Mhm.
um, moment, and the fears, the psychological, all the psychological part that's going on inside the mind. um, so what do you think would be best for both guys, girls to approach to the person they are interested in, and maybe start a conversation that will lead to a date, or that will lead to something that, um, towards a relationship and not
Mhm.
towards friendliness?
So that's a great question. I think that I myself am always learning more about that. So there's many things that are connected to when it comes to approaching in regards to romantic relationship. you really have to feel the other person's energy in a sense. Now, this kind of is something that you can't really measure. You can't really tell. Sometimes it's wrong. Sometimes you're right. You never know. But you have to really feel based on what they're giving you. Let's say right now, I am attracted to this one guy that I see at an event, but I'm so like shy. I don't want to be the person that comes and approaches him. I want him to approach me. So what I would do, I would bring maybe a friend of mine with me. We would go and we would just ask him where he's from. Be like, hey, like you look familiar. Where are you from? And then just start a conversation from that. And one thing leads to another where you start talking about your career and you start talking about where your family lives and the people that you have in common, your mutuals. And then you never know where the conversation will take you. Now, if there is a spark, if there's a connection through this, great. Then both parties involved are going to want to continue it later on. If someone is a little less interested, then most likely the continuation won't happen from there. And that's totally fine. It doesn't mean anything about you as a person. It just means that the connection is not exactly there. And maybe it will come later. Maybe it won't come now. You never know. The one thing I do recommend, not only for approaching someone in regards to a relationship, but also as a friendship, is finding some common ground. Meaning, let's say you overhear them talking about the fact that they're from Montreal, and you just happen to be from Montreal. You have friends from Montreal. Like, oh, you're from Montreal? No way. Okay, cool. I actually have this friend. Do you know them? And then you start a conversation from there. So finding common ground is really good too.
It's a very important thing in our in the way we build. We're naturally connected to communities, and we're connected to being in a group and
Yeah.
finding a common ground with other people. What do we share in common? It's immediately putting us together kind of in the same community. If we're both musicians, it puts us in the same community. And even if you have a friend that does something that is relates to that, psychologically it puts you maybe in a friendship communities, kind of both communities
Yes.
that are friends. Somehow it connects. So psychologically, if we think about it, we want to make sure we meet people and connect to that community. We find out people that are kind of similar to us, not who we are, but we have similarities,
Yeah.
and find those similarities. It will help us also as people, not also allow others to connect us more easily, also us to connect with others more easily, because we would enjoy more, see what we have in common. So it's
Yeah.
come with this curiosity. I love it, this approach
Mm.
gives us more excitement when we meet people.
I agree. Yeah. Completely.
Um, do you have maybe some few points, few ideas that you can share with people that they can improve their confidence in life, the way they maybe present themselves, the way they feel about themselves? Many people feel that maybe they're not enough, or they're not as the other people out there, and it can affect them when they go to social events, in relationships, in many areas. So where does it all begin, and how people can increase this confidence in them?
Okay. So, okay. A person's level of confidence, it really depends on a lot of factors. Number one, how they were raised, how their parents spoke to them growing up, or their environment, how their environment was with them growing up, and the things that they were brought to believe about themselves that now affect them as an adult. If you were born and raised in an environment that did not constantly tell you how incredible you are, most likely, even subconsciously, you might not believe any of that about yourself. Okay. Um, when you're an adult and you're trying to reroute your mind into making yourself confident and making yourself love yourself again, it's very, very hard. It's incredibly hard. It's extremely possible, but it's a lot of personal brainwash. Um, there's something that I believe very deeply in because it worked for me, and it's definitely fake it till you make it. When it comes to the confidence sense, meaning you may not feel confident when you walk into a room, and if anything, you may feel very insecure. But if you just put on the confidence suit, I like to call it, and pretend that you are, it changes everything because slowly but surely it becomes you. Without you pretending anymore, it's who you are all of a sudden. And it's easy. And then it's like, wait, I'm all of a sudden not insecure and I'm really confident. So I definitely believe that faking it for yourself helps a lot. A lot, a lot.
It's maybe people listen to it and say faking it. No, it's not me. I can't fake it. But
Mm-hmm.
basically, we have everything in us. It's not faking it. Actually, it's fake it till you make it.
Exactly.
But it's bringing another part that it's already in us out there,
Yeah,
and make it stronger. This part, train it to become better.
exactly. It's not, I'm not saying fake your personality. No, no, no. If anything, be confident in your personality. So know who you are. If you're a funny person and you have a certain type of humor, let it be because you're for sure going to find other people with that humor that are going to fall in love with you as a human. So do not fake anything about your personality. People will recognize that like in a second. Just be confident, fake your confidence in until it becomes who you are. Personality, stay who you are. For sure.
If you listen to this podcast, your personality is very good personality. This is how we market the podcast. So
Yeah.
maybe you can share with us some tips for a body language that we talked a little bit at the beginning. You shared about body language and the
Yeah.
importance of it. Maybe some good body language tips that people can take away, improve to make sure they change the way people see them and
Mhm.
make sure they send and deliver this confidence out there.
Yes. Okay. So what I highly recommend, especially for women as well, especially when you walk into a room or any social environment, I want you to be very conscious about your back and your shoulders and how they're placed. This is huge. It's huge. When you walk into a room and you're closed off, you exert more insecurity and shyness, and I don't feel comfortable talking to you. That's what you're showing. When you walk into a room and your shoulders are up like this and you're standing straight and your head is not like this the whole time, your head is raised like a person to person, it changes everything about the energy you give off. And not only that, in order for you to come off as welcoming, if you just add a little smile, it changes everything. People feel like they're more welcome to come and talk to you. And when you want to come and talk to someone, they feel like you're not as intimidating or not as scary, because when you walk in with confidence, not everyone is confident. For them, it's like, whoa. But you just pop a little smile and it's just a little more warm, a little more welcoming. That's definitely something I recommend to work on. Also for guys, when you smile, it changes everything. It changes your whole, I don't know what the right word is, but your whole aura, the whole energy, everything. I remember one of my good friends, who's now one of my best friends, when I first met her, I was so scared to talk to her because she did not smile. She was very in her own shell. And I thought she was going to be really mean to me, honestly. And then when I came and we started talking and she started smiling and giggling, all of a sudden the connection was like boom. And now she's my best friend. So 100% straight back, chin to the person's face, not up and not like this, straight, and smile. Pop a smile. It changes everything.
we become approachable. People see us as a
Mm-hmm.
confident. I come from the performance world, as performing as a magician and mentalist. So one of my personal mentors from this world always told me, when you stand on stage, when you meet people, smile, because smile is confidence. When you smile, he said he comes uh, from a tougher background, and when he was a child, when he was younger, um, it was very dangerous to walk on the streets where he lived, and he said that smile would show confidence, that don't mess with me, I'm confident. um, like I'm handling the situation of my life, like I'm confident with who I am. It's like makes you
Mm,
think twice when you if you want to mess with this person, which is funny,
yeah.
because smile
Yeah.
would make you more approachable. So
Yeah.
um so smile is makes us more approachable, confident, um and also makes us feel joy in our life, makes us happy. It's
Yeah.
good to smile, it's healthy
I
to laugh.
agree. I agree completely. Completely.
So I want to summarize our conversation today.
Yeah.
um Maybe share with us 3 points that you think that people should remember from our conversations today, and if they would take those 3 points and practice them in their life would improve, and they will take themselves into the next step of living their best selves.
Okay. Um, Number one, this comes into every concept. If it's networking, if it's trying to build your career, everything. Always come with the approach of, I want to learn something from this person. I want to ask this person a question. I don't want to voice too much about me. No, I'm here because I want to know about you. You are you're what's important to me right now. This will help you a lot with making new friendships, making new connections in every aspect. Um, Number two, a key point from this is body language. Go in front of a mirror and pretend like you're talking to someone new and practice. Practice your eye contact, practice your smiling, practice the way you stand with your back. Subconsciously, every time you're doing something, all of a sudden just remind yourself to straighten your back. It's very, very helpful. Practice makes perfect, and you will be amazing at it. You'll see. And then the last thing is, let's see. If you feel that you're at a point in your life where you don't love yourself and you're not confident, you are at probably the most perfect place to start. And because really, when you're at the lowest point, when you're at a point where you feel like you hate yourself and you hate your body, you hate this, from here, you can only go up. Okay. What this means is go find something, anything, a painting class that will make you feel good. Go to a dance class, even if you're going to be the worst dancer in the room in your head. It doesn't matter. No one cares. No one cares. You're going for yourself. Start by doing these little things that you find joy, because these are the things that will build your confidence. And then slowly but surely, it's going to come so naturally to you. The more you just find things that you're strong in and then pursue them and raise them higher and higher, other things are going to be more and more confident too about you. It's just how it works. So
I
yeah,
love
that's,
it. Those are some great tips for people. um,
thank you.
so for our listeners, when you leave the car, start to practice those ideas, implement them in your life.
Yeah.
So, Natalia, I want to thank you for being with us today, sharing your
Thank
insights
you.
from your personal world and your professional world. Um, I'm Yuval Teren, your host today, and that's Natalia Levi. You can
Thank
follow
you.
her on Instagram, Natalia Levi,
Yes.
and you have also your coaching Instagram, right?
Yes, Natalia Life Coaching. And also just want to get it out there. If anyone ever needs some more one-on-one support, if you need some help, I'm always here. Feel free to contact me and I'll help you out.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Natalia.
Thank you for having me.